Welcome to Can TV 21 Hotline. Let's talk etiquette. It's a pleasure to be here with you once again, and please do not hesitate to give us a call. My name is Nathan Wright, and you can reach me at 312-738-1060. But without any delay, I would like to introduce to you my very special co-host, Madam Georgia Selmon, etiquette maven extraordinary. Welcome again, Georgia. Glad to have you here. One more last show.
Thank you.
Yes.
It is indeed my pleasure, and I am so very, very happy to be here on your last show for this segment. Yes.
Yes, and as you know, if you're a regular, we've covered a host of subjects. I mean, unbelievable. We perhaps covered perhaps everything, anything you can imagine. We've had a topic, we had a show on it, because we really feel that this subject here, especially the word etiquette, is really not appreciated in our society, and all the things that it represents in our behavior. And so we feel that we wanted to illuminate what the word etiquette mean. So today's topic is the last show for this season. I'm sad to say. We could go on for the next 4 or 5 years without stopping, so unfortunately we won't be able to do it that way. But we wanted to cover a subject that we felt was important in terms of our last show. So let me put the title of that show up for you to see. And you can, Madam, would you like to read that one?
Yes, let's talk etiquette, season review in retrospect. In retrospect.
Yes, season review in retrospect. So, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about past shows. Shows we've done already. And so we're just going to go off the top. Those shows that we felt were impactful, had really substance to them. We would just like to just talk about them. But don't hesitate to call us now. If you had a show you liked, a subject that you felt was meaningful and impactful, please give us a call, share that show or that theme of the show with us, and we can discuss it further. But I'd like to start out talking about our last subject show.
Okay.
So we're going to go back in time where we might as well start the last show we did, and that was on citizenship, the contract of citizenship. What impact? We've gotten a lot of calls, a lot of emails, but what impact do you think that subject would have if it was set perhaps in a wider audience, people could see more and just evaluate that show? What do you think?
Well, it was a great and a very interesting show because it talked about contracts, and we talked about the societal contracts.
Yes.
And I mentioned that our birth certificate, that is the very first contract that we receive. And it's before we have any contact with society.
Any consciousness of it.
In any way, form, or fashion.
Right.
Our birth certificates and our social security cards. And we talked about the passport. And, those are contracts that that's on us.
It is.
As Americans.
Right. As citizens.
American citizens.
Yes.
And they're very, very vital.
Very vital, yes.
And very needed. They pretty much identify who we are.
It does. It's our identity.
It's our identity. Absolutely.
That's what it is.
That will live on beyond us.
Yes, it will.
Beyond us, those documents lives on.
They do.
Absolutely.
They're here, and then the record books, and the government has record books. You can go back 50, 75 years, and if you have a name and a social security number, you can identify that person during their entire working life.
Absolutely.
Through those records. So
that was an interesting topic that that I kind of missed the very first session, and then I kind of chimed in on that following week.
Following week,
Yeah,
right,
and had
right.
my thoughts about it, and
Yes,
it was
yes.
interesting. I never had thought about
Right.
that subject
No.
until you came up with it.
Yes, yes.
But one of these subjects or topics that really, really, really inspired me and brought a lot of controversy was the legalization of marijuana,
Yes.
of recreational marijuana.
Yes, that was we got a lot of response from that
A
show.
lot of response. And I think, in retrospect, if we could have had several guests to come on and bring
Pros and
their
cons.
views, yes,
Pros and
pros and cons, to
Right.
bring their views, I think that would have really given that subject matter even more of a highlight.
Yes.
I
yes.
certainly wish we had done that.
Yes. Yes.
So
yes.
that was an interesting subject for me to
It-
have
yeah.
for discussion.
It was because actually we never had really thought about doing the show on that subject
Exactly.
until State Representative Anthony DeLuca
Right.
sent out an email on it.
Yes.
And it came to our info at EFOI email site.
Yes.
And then when I looked to see what he was talking about, I thought, hey, why not do a show on that subject? And that's how that got started.
That's how that got started.
It wasn't on our agenda to do a show on that subject.
Not at all. Not
But
at all.
I think we did a service to the community, talked about that and the pros and cons of it. And so I'm hoping those who did watch that show, we did two, right? We did it twice.
We did, yes, we did a follow-up. We did a follow-up.
Yes,
And
yes.
I was really surprised to see how many people that called me on the side. They didn't call into the show,
Right.
but they called me on the side. A
Right,
lot of my
right.
political
Contacts.
friends,
Yes,
contacts.
yes, yes, I
And
remember you telling me.
we spoke for hours
Right.
about the subject.
Yes.
And there were some people that really have strong feelings about the legalization of it.
Yes.
And then my position was not, of course, opposing it.
Opposing it, right.
And it would have been nice had we structured the show where we
Yes.
could have had several people to come in
Yes.
to voice their views.
We could have went 3 shows if we,
We
had
could
the
have gone,
time.
absolutely.
We'd have started maybe a week or 2 earlier. We could have did
Yes.
before it came up for vote.
Exactly.
Yeah, in the state legislature, that was it.
Exactly.
And the reason that we were interested in this subject is because it relates to behavior. And
Yes.
when a young person is intoxicated, their behavior is skewed. And they're at greater risk in society if they are not in full control of their faculties. You have to be sober in every way if you have an encounter with the police.
Yes.
And if they can detect that you are intoxicated, that could elevate the whole situation, the whole encounter.
Yes.
And so we were opposed to it from that point of view, and the fact that our young people need to be in full control over themselves, without any altered sales from some intoxicant that when they're out there in public. So that was and that's including alcohol, it's just not marijuana. But that was our biggest concern as from the Etiquette Foundation, that we would want to stand on the side of our young people being clear-headed,
Yes, yes.
collective and calm, and able to interact with people with a clear mind. Yes, yes, yes.
Another subject that really, that I was really inspired by was the subject of employment services for young people
Yes.
during the summer months.
Yeah, our summer employment campaign.
Exactly.
Right. Yes, yes, great show. Yes, absolutely.
And I'm hoping that people get involved, the business community and the community organizations get involved and
Yes.
provide some services, employment services for our youth.
Yes.
It would have been nice had we had a couple of shows.
On that.
Yes, on that
Yes.
alone, and then invited some community leaders and
come in.
and yes,
Business
and
people.
business people,
Who
private and
took
public
advantage
sector.
of it.
Yes,
Mhm.
private and
Advertise.
public sector to come in and talk about their contributions to that whole initiative. That would have been awesome.
Yes,
had we.
absolutely. It would
But
have.
there's always the next time.
Next
There's
summer,
always the next time.
our summer campaign, employment campaign, we certainly will revisit that. And we'll start a lot earlier this year, and we will make it more comprehensive of people in the community who are on board, who is committed to creating a job or allowing one of these young people to be employed in their business. And no matter what that business is, if you're employing them just so that they can learn about your business, that's a huge benefit to that young person. If they can learn how your business functions, how it works, what your profit margin has to be, whatever that business is, serving the community in whatever level, certainly have that young person in there to give them an education and compensate them for their time and effort in your business. So I myself, as you know, I had the opportunity to step up and and play a part, put my mouth where my thoughts and my values are. And so I hired about 5 young men at my business location, showing that I'm committed to exactly what we talked about. And in fact, one of my employees does our program. He's the producer of this program. And that's a job for him.
Absolutely.
So that he can learn something about technology and how to put a program, a theater together, how to produce it and direct it and all of that. That's right here at CAN TV. This is a tremendous resource in the community for young people.
Absolutely.
Looks like we have a caller.
We have a caller.
Yes. Caller?
And yes, and good evening to you.
Yes.
And it's a great day. It's a great day to be on God's green earth.
Yes.
Listen, I have 2 quick comments. Number 1, who would ever thought in the year 2019 they'd be talking about legalizing marijuana? It was one time in life there was a statement, don't touch that. It leads you on to other drugs. It make you a dope addict and things of that nature. Now we talking about legalizing it. Just put something on your mind to think about. Now, the best show you ever had to me was the very first show that I heard our people talking about etiquette. That's something we did not see that much. It was, let's say, was other people with other lighter skins, Vanderbilt or Abigail, and people of such a nature. It made me feel good to see our own people teaching etiquette. It was just something I never seen before on TV. You see it, read it in books or other forms, some kind of a banquet or something on that nature. With certain spoons and forks, and just to say good morning. Thank you.
Yes.
I want to thank you so much for bringing that to the show. That it made me feel good to be a black man and see a black person on our show teaching etiquette. I hope more people, you know my famous word, if you have one, you did God's work. Look at the young man you brought on many years ago, and now he's answered the phones now for you. Yes. Again, I think you did a lot. It's so wonderful to see this.
Thank you,
I can't wait till next season to see you again. I will be here.
Yes.
And like I said to you sometime, if I don't call, I'm always listening.
Wonderful,
I'll
Steve.
record it and listen to it. So I want to thank you from
Thank you, Steve.
all the CAN TV watchers, the ones especially don't call, but you do get in their minds. Thank you for what y'all two do. Keep on doing the work. And you know I will be here next season. And I want to say thank you to something to call Let me gather up the air so I can hear your response. And
Wonderful.
please have a good night and a safe night. And
Thank
I'll
Thank you.
see
you.
you
Thank
next
you,
time.
Steve.
We really appreciate your time and effort that you've contributed to this show. Your comments are always right on the money.
Yes.
I mean, I was so glad to hear your voice when you started talking because, this last show wouldn't be a show without his commentary.
Absolutely.
So thank you,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes,
We
yes.
really appreciate you. Believe me, to the bottom of our heart, we do. And you're our faithful caller. And maybe within the next season, we'll invite you on the show. We have 3 of us sitting here instead of 2.
That would
We
be
have
awesome.
Steve. We have Steve with us.
Yes.
So keep that in mind. Don't be surprised. We call you and say, "Come on, you got to be on the show with us." We're gonna sit you right here in the center. This is where you're gonna be, Steve. So, but it's gonna be a great show to have you. And we'll talk about the past. We'll talk in
Yes.
retrospect. We'll talk about the shows that you've been with us for many, many years, and maybe some of the highlighted shows that you thought was really meaningful and lasting. So thank you again, Steve, and have a great, safe summer as well. Okay?
Yes. Yes, yes.
Yeah. See, it's when you get those kind of callers, that has that kind of commentary about how much they appreciate what we're doing here. And we're out there. We're in the trenches. And we're trying to save as many of our young people's lives as we possibly can. And just for a second, you were at a school yesterday.
Yes.
Or was it? Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday, Tuesday.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
what
Tuesday.
grades? Tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, we have a contract with one of the Chicagoland schools, and we're teaching etiquette ed, manners and morals, and to first and second graders.
First and second graders.
It's amazing.
Wonderful.
It's amazing how receptive these youngsters are about that information.
Yes, yes.
It blows my mind because the majority of them did not know what the meaning of etiquette was.
Right.
But a couple of them did. And they were right on. I said, "Does anyone know what etiquette, the meaning of the word etiquette?"
Yes.
And the majority did not raise their hands, but in each session, first and second grade, one student knew. Now, I don't know whether or not they, prepped them or
Right.
what, but one student said, raised her hand, yes. And she said, respect.
Huh.
Another class in the second grade class, one student raised his hands and he said, kindness. And that just took the subject into the meaning and the whole gist of why we were there.
Right.
It's
First and second
and
graders.
I told those students, I said,
That's the first time there, right? With them.
very first time at the
Okay.
school, and I told the students, I said, that's what we're going to be studying. I said for the next 5 weeks,
Yes.
how to be kind to one another, how to be respectful to one another,
Yes.
how to be gracious, all of the definitions of etiquette.
Yes.
And I said, because so often, I said, we're not seeing people kind to one another anymore.
No.
We're not seeing people say thank you anymore or excuse me. I said, how do you feel about that? And they raised their, I think we should. I said, you know who's going to make the difference? I said, you guys.
You guys are gonna make.
You guys are going to make the difference. You're going to
Yes.
turn this whole society
Right.
around to
Yes.
the traditions of etiquette.
Yes.
And they were so excited.
Oh wow.
They
I
were
wish
so
I could have been there.
excited.
Yeah.
I just believe in what we're doing. I believe
It comes
in this
across.
subject.
That's
Yes.
the key. They have to see it in you. They have to see it
Absolutely.
in your behavior, in
Absolutely.
your mannerism, what it is to be a kind person, considerate person. They have to see it in the person, in your tone, your diction, all of that, your expressions gives it excitement to them.
It did.
And it's wonderful to work with them.
It did. It really
Yes,
did.
yes.
And that's why you and I have always been an advocate saying and stating that this subject matter should start, well, it actually should start at home. But in the event that it's not being taught
Yes.
at home, it should start in the early stages of the education system.
Absolutely.
First
Absolutely.
grade, even kindergarten.
It should. It should be at least 4 to 5 years of it, because by the time they reach 5th grade, their values will be pretty much in place.
Absolutely.
And if once the child adopt those values, being kind, being considerate, being courteous, being polite,
Being respectful.
being respectful, those values are internal, and they will last them the remainder of their life. By and large, they will. They will stick to those values and honor those values and honor the teacher who taught them.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember some of my earlier teachers too. So that's what the Etiquette Foundation is all about in terms of reaching out into the greater community. And I'm going to have to come and sit in on that class before you guys are finished.
I suggest you do,
You know.
because the students are very impressive, and just mentioning the definitions of the word. You know,
Yes.
there was one little boy, he was going to try to rock the boat. You know,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
always one
Right,
that's
right.
going
A
to try
challenge.
to.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And simply, I said, I need you to respect me.
Yes.
I need for you to respect me.
Yes.
And he immediately pulled it together
Uh-huh.
and got his little act together with respect. And I said, that's what I want to see. I said, because I'm respecting you, I need you to respect me. It's
Right.
such a simple concept
It is. It is.
that's just been put aside.
Yes.
And we need to
Introduce it to society,
that.
into
Yes.
our value system.
Exactly.
As Americans,
As Americans.
these are American values. Why not honor them? Who are you as a citizen, right? You are what you represent in society. And if you have those, I don't even want to call them names, I mean, just atrocious, degenerate values, you are putting a bad reflection, a poor reflection on the honor of being a part of this great nation.
And it becomes generational. It becomes,
Yes.
and that's what we're trying to make not happen.
Make that happen.
We have to. There has to be some of us, and we want everyone to join this bandwagon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
You know, and you don't have to have the curriculum.
Yeah,
You don't have to have the curriculum.
No.
We're more than happy to share it.
Yes, yes. It's free. No charge.
We're more than happy to share it.
Yes, absolutely.
But we advocate the traditional way of being.
Absolutely.
We talked about the South.
Yes.
Here,
One of our shows.
One of our shows.
Right, right.
And how Southerners,
And hospitable they
how
are.
hospitable.
Yes.
And it's
That
just,
should be all over this nation.
it shouldn't just be in the South.
The
It should
South?
be right on the South side.
It should be right there in the west side.
On the west side.
Chicago.
Absolutely.
You know, say, hi, how are you all? You know, those kinds of little sentiments that people send to you, letting you know that they are, first of all, great Americans, honoring the great codes of politeness, and just being a happy market for being in their environment and in their homes and in their communities.
Yes.
And so you were there just recently, and it just was like a night and day.
And I can't wait to go back. I really cannot. I had actually planned my summer to be something totally different. But this opportunity came along, and
Yes.
I welcome it.
Yes.
Because it's given me an opportunity to continue the promotion of what we're doing,
Yes.
Etiquette Ed.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
I don't think we can afford not to do this.
Yes. And the next time it's done, we may go down and do some documentary on it to show our class the difference, you know, in behavior from the south of this country and the north.
Yes.
You know, and why it's so important that we go back to those basic values. It will make us a healthier people, a positive people, a constructive people, not the kinds of things we're witnessing in this great city. Chicago is a great city.
It truly
And
is.
it's been a great city. It can be a great city without the kinds of things that's really tarnishing this city's great reputation all over the world.
All over.
It's two things: Al Capone and Michael Jordan. That's why you go to a foreign country, it's those two names.
Yes.
But now it's the gangs and the murders.
And it's sad. That saddens me because it doesn't have to be that way.
No.
And I'm really, really believing that if we all come together, and we mentioned that in one of our workshops.
Yes.
If we all come together as a community and take part in the whole effort of making our communities better,
Absolutely.
it can be done.
It can be done.
It can be
and
done.
it starts with the education. We got to get this into the schools in a consistent way. If
Absolutely.
that can happen, we'll change the conditions that we're witnessing today.
Yes.
Well, time is out. Oh, let me put our information up real quick. You can reach out to us at 312-473-2942 or info@efoi.org. Give us a call. Send us an email. Reach out to us. We're not going out of business. We're not taking a vacation. So we will be around. So please reach out to us. I'll give you the honors for the closing of this last show. Please.
Well, listen, tune in. We're coming back. And we're coming back with more information. We're coming back just as excited as we're leaving. And we ask that you do your part in your community, in your household, in making a difference, teaching etiquette education, manners and morals, respect and honor. That's what I have to say.
Yes, well said, well said. And thank you again, madam, for being my co-host. And with that said, we'll close with that. Have a great, safe summer, and we'll be back in the early fall. What is it, autumn? Which is it?
It's fall.
Fall.
October, right?
Yes,
October.
Yes,
October.
Yes. So we'll see you then. Have a great, safe holiday, and as well as the remainder of the summer.
Good night.
Good night.